Hey everybody, welcome back to Brandon Tries to Win. I'm your host Brandon, and today we're going to be talking about something I'm genuinely pumped about, but honestly a little scared about as well. We're going to talk about AI and your money. Now look, I've spent years in tech and I've spent years as a financial advisor. That means I've seen this industry from both sides of the table. And right now, both of those are colliding in a big way. Some AI companies are out here saying that AI is going to wipe out all financial professionals. That's a really bold claim, and today I'm going to tell you why that's not quite right, but also why you still need to pay attention because things are changing really fast. So buckle up. We're going to talk about how AI is reshaping financial advice and how everyday people can use it smartly, and how to not blow up your retirement account because a chatbot told you to. Let's get into it. AI is in everything now. It's in your phone, your streaming service, your spam filter, it's all there. So the fact that it's showing up in your personal finances, zero surprise. Here's a stat that blew my mind. It's estimated that about 80% of people are using AI to ask about financial decisions. 80%. That's right up there with medical questions. People are going to ChatGPT and asking, should I max out my 401k? Or what's better, a Roth IRA or a traditional IRA? And honestly, I get it. AI is available 24/7 when you can't sleep and you're spiraling about your finances. Your financial advisor, they have a life. They're not going to pick up at midnight. So there's a real convenience factor here. My take, coming from both the tech and finance world, is that AI is genuinely a great tool for generating ideas, building a framework for your thinking, and getting oriented on financial topics. It can be incredibly useful, but, and this is a big but, it cannot be your final word. Here's why I say that and why I get a little nervous. The thing about AI that you really need to understand and drill this deep down is that it really wants to sound helpful and confident. It will often tell you what you want to hear, frame things in ways that validate your existing assumptions, and deliver it in a tone that makes you feel like you just got advice from a genius or you're a genius yourself. Sometimes that's great, and sometimes it's just making stuff up. And there's a term in the AI world. It's called hallucination. The model fills in gaps with plausible sounding but factually wrong information. And in most areas of life, that is really annoying. In finance and medicine, it can be devastating. Here's a stat check. A study recently cited by Kiplinger found that ChatGPT gets financial questions wrong 35% of the time. Researchers at Investing in the Web asked the chatbot 100 personal finance questions, and more than a third of that came back partially incorrect or flat out wrong. Let that sink in. 1 out of 3. When we're talking about your retirement, your mortgage, your investment strategy, a 1 in 3 error rate is not something that you want to gamble with. Small mistakes in finance don't stay small. They compound. Over decades, a wrong assumption baked in early can cost you hundreds of thousands of dollars. And it gets even more sobering. According to Credit Karma, 52% of Americans who acted on AI-generated financial advice later said that they made a mistake. That's more than half the people who trusted AI to make a money move, and they regretted it. Here's the part that scares me the most as someone who's lived in tech. AI doesn't pull from just good sources, it pulls from whatever's out there. And there's a lot of bad actors on the internet who know this. Scammers, fraudulent investment schemes, fake financial gurus, they all publish content specifically designed to be indexed, to look credible, and to show up in AI training data. They want that information to get amplified. And when AI scrapes those sources and presents that information to you as the truth, that scam just got supercharged. This is why I say for finance and medicine especially, please do your research outside of AI. Cross-check with sources like Investopedia. Talk to an actual licensed professional before you make any major moves. Don't let AI be the only vote in the room. Bottom line on part 1 is that AI is not going to go away, and it can be genuinely useful. But right now, it's still a tool that is learning, and it can be wrong in a costly way. Treat it like a very well-read friend, but not like a certified financial planner. I'm not here to scare you and then send you home. That's not what we do here. So let's talk about how we actually use AI as part of your financial toolkit. Smart, responsible, and in a way that helps you and doesn't wreck you. Here are my 5 steps straight from experience. Step 1, know your own situation first. Before you type a single thing into AI, get clear on you. What are your actual goals? What do you have right now? What are your debts, your income, your timeline, and your risk tolerance? Here's where AI shines. Once you have all of that information in your head, you can dump it into the AI and ask you to organize it. List everything, what you want to accomplish, what you have to do today, what you owe, and ask AI to structure it in a clear financial picture. This is genuinely one of the best use cases. AI is incredible at taking a mess of thoughts and making them coherent. Use it like a very smart note organizer for your life plan. Try this prompt. Here is my current financial situation, list it all. Help me organize it into a clear summary that I could use as a starting point for planning. Step 2. Use AI as your financial dictionary. There is no shame in not understanding every financial concept or term. The financial world is full of jargon designed, and I sometimes think, to keep regular people confused. AI is phenomenal at explaining things in plain language. Ask it, what is dollar cost averaging? Explain the difference between a Roth and a traditional IRA like I'm 25 years old. What does expense ratio mean? It's like having a financial tutor on call 24/7, but I keep saying this, ask it to always give you sources. Tell it, can you explain this to me and then point me to where I can verify this, like Investopedia? Build that verification habit into every single interaction you have. Step 3, research options, not decisions. This is crucial because I want you to hear me clearly. There is a big difference between asking AI for options and asking AI to make a decision for you. A good use is, what are the best types of accounts for tax advantage investing? What are some low-cost index fund options that people commonly consider? What are the pros and cons of paying off debt versus investing? Bad use. Should I put my entire savings in this stock? Tell me what to invest in right now. Leverage AI to give you options to help you do the research, and then use your own decision or a professional to help you make that decision. That's probably the best sequence. Step 4, let's dig deeper onto specific investments. Let's say you've identified something that you're interested in, a specific ETF, a type of bond, a sector you want to learn about. AI is really solid for helping people understand the landscape here. Ask it to explain how the investment works, what are the historical patterns, and what risks are associated, and also what critics are saying about it. Get a full picture. But here's my rule. Treat everything AI says to you here as the start of your research, not the end of it. Go verify those numbers. Pull the actual fund prospectus. Cross-reference with financial news sources. The AI gave you a map, but you still need to keep your eyes on the road and drive there yourself. Step 5, staying current on what's actually happening. The financial markets respond to the world, as you can tell. Interest rates, inflation reports, Fed decisions, geopolitical events, as we're currently seeing, all of these affect your money. AI can help you stay informed and understand what that means. Ask it, what happened with interest rates this month and how might that affect someone with a variable rate mortgage? Or explain what the latest inflation numbers means to somebody saving for retirement. Use the AI as a starting point to understand the news cycles and how it applies to your situation. It's great for context. Just don't use it as your only news source, and definitely don't react to AI's interpretation of financial news by making same-day trading decisions. Golden rule. AI is powerful for 3 things: information gathering, simplifying complex concepts, and organizing your thoughts. It's not ready to be the author of your financial plan. That job still belongs to you and possibly a real human professional. Look, AI is not going anywhere. It's going to keep getting better, faster, and more integrated into financial services. I believe advisors will still be around, just working alongside these tools rather than being fully replaced by them. But right now, in 2026, AI is still a developing tool. It's brilliant in a lot of ways and dangerous in a lot of others. And when it comes down to your money, your retirement, your financial security for your family, you can't afford to be on the wrong side of that particular coin. So use it. Absolutely use it, but use it like the smart tool it is and not some sort of oracle. Check your sources, get a second opinion, and for big decisions, please, please, please make your own or talk to a real human who is legally responsible for the advice they give you. And as always, I'm Brandon. I try to help others win when the cards are stacked against us, and today I'm trying to make sure you understand how AI can help you win. If this helped you out, please smash that like button, subscribe if you haven't, and drop a comment. I want to know, have you used AI for financial advice? What has that experience been? And let's talk about it down below. Peace.